What happens when you put a stock RTR battery in an RTR Lite? What about when you put a touring battery in the RTR Lite? Battery joke, haha. Today, we're going to test every single battery that Electro & Co makes in this RTR Lite, except for the 72 volt 35 amp hour race battery, because we don't have it. This RTR Lite comes stock with a 60 volt 20 amp hour battery. This battery gives you the range of just over 20 miles and allows you to push 5 kilowatts on this motor. Let's hop on this bike real quick and show you what it can do.
All right, the stock 60 volt 20 amp hour. Let's ride. If you guys watch my review video on this, you'll know that I absolutely love this bike. I adore it. I think it's such a great budget bike. The bang for buck you get out of this thing is awesome. As far as top speed goes, we got right around the claimed 45. We'll do it right now. And the brakes work pretty well. So stock battery, stock everything. But yeah, 45's the top speed I got out of this thing. It's got plenty of pep, plenty of power. What I like about this stock battery is that it keeps the bike super light. So the bike is very light. Even compared to the RTR, it's light. But it still wheelies super well. The balance on the battery and the bike is great. And it's just such an awesome option. Again, I did a range test on this battery and I got 20 miles. Range on this is killer. It's killer for what it is, which is a small budget bike. But the weight with this bike feels awesome. You kind of just know what you're getting with this stock battery, which is into the scene for a really good price. Even though we're testing bigger, better batteries, I by no means want to discount how good this stock 60 volt is. It doesn't feel like a 60 volt. That's the biggest thing. Right up to 45. No problemo. It's the UPS guy, I know him. But yeah, she wheelies even on the stock 5 kilowatts. She is a ton of fun. But you guys don't care about the stock. The reason you're watching this video is to see, because you want to upgrade this freaking thing. You want better range, you want more power. So let's get back to the garage and talk about the stock RTR battery.
Now let's say the 60 volt 20 amp hour just isn't enough for you. Enter the 72 volt 25 amp hour stock RTR battery. This battery costs $849, little less when you use code ConnorG, and it drops into the Lite with no modifications necessary to the motor, controller, or the battery slot. Now, if you didn't know, the stock motor on the RTR and RTR Lite are exactly the same. It's just the controller that differs. So the Lite pulls only 5 kilowatts, where the RTR pulls 8 kilowatts. In addition to better range, this 72 volt battery automatically allows the motor to now pull 6 kilowatt, as opposed to the stock 5. So let's test it.
Okay, so now we have the stock RTR battery in, and what I love about this is you still can't tell any difference. Like, it looks stock, it looks exactly the same. There's no battery sticking up. The seat fits just as it should, but we're on this thing now. Only other thing worth noting is if you do plan to run the 72 volt long term, you will just have to reprogram your display. There's buttons on the back of the screen that you can use to do this. I'm not going to show you today, and we're riding in sport mode, which now should be 6 kilowatt instead of 5. Oh yeah, and I'm already noticing a difference. Wow, just in that quick pull. That got me up to 46 already. Oh yeah. Yeah, this thing definitely has more power now. It's only 1 kilowatt difference, but I feel like I notice it almost more in the torque, like the immediate torque. See what we can get top speed wise. 45, 47, 49. Woo! Woo! Can we stop? Oh my gosh, my eyes are watering. Okay, that is definitely more powerful. I promise it's not a placebo effect. As you can tell, the bike's already quicker, and it definitely feels like it has more torque. And it's so crazy that you can just drop it in and change nothing. Oh yeah, it feels like the RTR now. This is literally the RTR now. What the hell? I can't believe this is a Lite. On the Lite, I just didn't have the power to chase wheelies before. With this 6 kilowatt, now I do. That's crazy. Now guys, as we discussed, the motor in this bike is capable of pushing 8 kilowatts. It's the exact same motor as the RTR. So if you decide you want to do that, You can do so by putting on the RTR controller, which you can get on Electron Co's website, and basically you just swap it right over. It's only like 4 phase wires to swap it, and then you are able to push the full 8 kilowatts. So you get the RTR 72 volt, which absolutely rips by changing nothing on this, but if you want even more in the 8 kilowatt capacity, then you can add the RTR stock controller, and then you're pushing 8 kilowatts. I was used to on the stock RTR having to slow down to wheelie. Now it just pulls right up. I did not expect to notice that much of a difference. And as far as weight goes, truly I don't really notice much. The bike doesn't feel overly top heavy. It still feels super balanced, and now it rips. And the beauty is you're gonna get way better range. So I got 26 miles on my RTR stock battery range test in the RTR, but that was riding 8 kilowatt the whole time. If you ride this 6 kilowatt the whole time, you're bound to get better range than I got on the stock battery in the RTR. Corn. Oh. I did not expect it to make this much of a difference. My suspicion is that this combination of battery and bike is going to be the happy medium. I feel like the touring battery is going to feel heavy because it already feels heavy in the RTR, but let's go back to the garage and see how that thing does. But all right, one more wheelie for you. Ready? Going 21. It did not pull up at 21 before. And you can just chase it out more. Like if you drop the front wheel too much, you now have that extra power to keep it up. Oh my goodness. 25. All right, let's go test the touring. And it's starting to rain. Sick.
So as we saw, the stock RTR battery added noticeable power as well as additional range. But let's say you absolutely want to ride all day to the point that your bottom is sore. Enter the big kahuna, the 72 volt, 45 amp hour touring battery. This battery fits no problem, just like the others, and it will also give you the same power increase to 6 kilowatt as the stock RTR battery. This battery will run you $16.99. Again, though, you can save using code ConnorG at checkout.
Okay, guys. Last and final test, the touring battery, the 72 volt, 45 amp hour battery. One thing I'll note about this is it's so hard to get the seat on with this battery. Oh my goodness. Not just with this bike, with my stock RTR as well. I don't know if I'm just dumb, but I always have that issue. But same thing with the display. Miles per hour will read correctly, but percentage will not. You'll need to reprogram it. This should just be the same as the RTR as far as power. 6 kilowatt here, and we are getting pissed on. So riding it right now, it just feels more planted. That's what the heavier battery does. Yeah, and power feels exactly the same. Feels exactly the same. If you guys are curious, this bike is waterproof, or IPX something, water resistant, I don't know. Just like with the RTR, it's definitely heavier. You feel a lot more weight up front on the bike, which doesn't mean you can't wheelie it, especially because you now have more power, but it's definitely heavier and it's certainly noticeable. One thing I'll say about the touring battery is that 9 times out of 10 when I'm going on a ride, I am using the RTR stock battery, the 72 volt 25 amp hour. And let's hide from the rain for a sec. And that's just because it's super light, the bike feels super flickable, super agile, and I just don't often need the range of a 72 volt 45. Where the 72 volt 45 is great is going to ride out, because especially when I'm going to ride outs in cities I don't know, I'm not familiar with, I'm not sure how the local law enforcement is, then it's beneficial because I have that extra range and I'm not battling range anxiety. Let's just get a couple more wheelies on this thing just to get my final impressions. And look at that, just doing a burnout, 6 kilowatt, extra power. Now I will say, this bike doesn't feel quite as powerful because of the extra weight of the battery. I think the touring battery is maybe 5 to 10 pounds heavier than the RTR standard battery. Still wheelies just fine, as you can tell, but it is heavier, and that does have an effect on wheelies, and it'll also have an effect on if you're jumping the bike, if you're off-roading the bike, because it's just going to be heavier. Let's see if it can wheelie just as easy at like 25, like the stock RTR battery. 25. Yeah, it's a little harder. Gotta throw your weight back a little more. Yeah, in most cases, 72 volt 45 is overkill, honestly. Especially in these little pit bikes, because your butt will be sore far before the battery dies. Up to 45 there. I would be interested to see how the 35 feels as well. 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. I'm running out of space. Uphill. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Getting squirrely. 47, 48, 49. Oh my God, I'm getting pelted with rain in the eye. So I do have limited space to do this. I would not be surprised if this does in excess of 50, especially if you have Supermoto wheels and tires on it. It definitely will go even quicker than what we're getting, but uphill with a short runway, we're still getting freaking upwards of 50 miles per hour on this. And it is pouring. All right, I'll see you guys in the garage. You gotta be kidding me, bro. Good thing this bike's waterproof.
I'm soaked, bro. Well, there you guys have it. Every single battery tested in the ETM RTR Lite, except for the 35 amp hour mod battery. So my overall thoughts. I think that the stock battery is honestly killer in this bike. It just gave me more context that even in stock form, even though it's only a 60 volt, it still freaking rips. It's still a wheelie monster, still an off-road beast, a ton of fun. But if you want more range and more power, the 72 volts absolutely give you that. The stock RTR battery honestly felt so perfect to me. It felt like it belonged in the bike. The bike didn't feel any heavier. It felt honestly just like my RTR. I think it was the total sweet spot of power to weight because it wheelied so easily, coming up to speeds of like 25 miles per hour, but it didn't feel too top heavy when I was wheeling. The touring battery, also a great option, but you can definitely tell the thing is heavy. It's a solid 5 to 10 pounds heavier than the standard RTR battery, and you definitely notice that. If I could only choose one, I would probably take the stock RTR battery. Now again, I'd be very interested to see what the 35 amp hour mod battery feels like, but I don't know, I feel like the stock RTR battery is that perfect balance because it's not too heavy, it gives you additional range, and since you're only pushing 6 kilowatts on this thing, you're probably gonna get even more than 26 miles range like I got on my stock RTR. The other thing about all three of these batteries to note is that this touring battery right here, this thing costs you like $16.99 or something. That's not cheap. Whereas the stock RTR battery only costs you $8.49. So you're literally at almost half the price in the stock RTR battery. You still get all of the benefits of extra power, having a little less range anxiety, but not the extra weight that the touring battery has. But if you really want the extra mileage, the touring battery obviously is a great option as well. But if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below in the comments. If you have any video suggestions on either of these bikes, definitely let me know. I'm sure some of you probably want me to do a range test on these batteries in this bike, but dude, range tests are so tiring. But if that's what you want, let me know and I'll do it. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you want this bike or these batteries, be sure to use code ConnorG at checkout to save a couple bucks and it'll help out the channel. But anyways, guys, I will see you very, very soon. Please subscribe. Road to 100K. Peace.